Hey, you guys, and welcome to American Culture. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe, do all this stuff to share that positive energy. Of course, it helps me grow and you as well. With that being said, your girl fell in love at first sight today in the strangest of ways. Let me explain. So, I am dwindling down at work, and I had this one kid who just absolutely loves cars. And so I found out that we have like the largest Porsche racing museum in the country here in Jacksonville. So I said, you know what, we should probably go. I looked up the price, and initially I was like, because I felt like I was going to have to pay for the family to go, because it's work. And so if it's not suggested by them, then I kind of need to say, hey, let's go do this. And the old me, even though I have the funds to do that, would have been like restricted. Oh, let's wait a little bit and da 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 da, all this other stuff. But this version of me, like I say, I'm living based off of the resources that I have to provide for me the day that God wants me to have. I said, okay, let's do this. So I asked mom if she wants to go out there, and she's like, yeah. Now I didn't tell her that I was paying for anything. I think she thought it was just free. And we got in the car and we went. It wasn't until the boy started asking how much it cost that the mom knew I had to pay for it. And long story short, we ended up at the auto thing. And she kept trying to pay me back for that. We'll go back to that later, but you guys know, sometimes if people are trying to pour into you, let that happen. We don't feel worthy of the finances. Like I said, for me, the reason why I didn't really want to spend that money, that first gut to the thing, like, oh, I'm going to have to pay for this, was because of that poverty mindset that I picked up in childhood, because I always constantly had to hear about how much something costs. If you're doing that to your kids, stop. Stop. With that being said, we go into it. It's a whole bunch of like old cars, and I see this one catches my eye, and I take a couple pictures of it. Now, mind you, I'm going throughout this entire display, and I'm taking a picture here and a picture there, but I went back to this one, and I took a couple more, and so I Googled it. I was like, how much is this car worth? $25 million. It is literally a one-of-one vehicle. And I'm telling you guys, before I even bothered to look up how much this car was worth, I knew it. I knew that this thing was special. It just had this aura. It's a 1939 Alfa Romero 29C. I mean, like literally, they only made a handful, very few of them. These things sell for $25 million plus in this kind of condition, like museum quality. I thought to myself, if I was a billionaire, I'd have to have it. But then it was like, no, I wouldn't want to keep it to myself. I need people to see it. And that's when I recognized, did I just fall in love? Like seriously, did that just happen? Because there's just something about that place. It's at the Brumos collection, right? And this was a private collection based off of one guy and what his family built over time. And it suddenly hit me. This is what concentration of passion is. This is what it looks like when you're not throwing your time, effort, and energy over here, over there, over this, over that. It's just a concentration of things, and you want to share that. You want people to be a part of it. And that guy didn't have to open this museum so that people can share in this experience. He didn't have to do that at all. But I'm grateful that he did, because suddenly, like, I knew I was standing in the presence of legacy. There are so many of us out there. We all have this in us. We all have legacy in us, the ability to create something and build something that's going to far outlast us, to where our name will ring and resonate in the future. But we don't. We settle for work as opposed to building the empire and building the legacy. But today I got the opportunity to stand in the middle of this man's joy, his purpose, his passion. And that's what love was. It's not necessarily, well, there is a part of you that just says, I want to have this, but love at first sight is really the recognition of that passion, of that consistency, of that dedication, all just funneled into this one experience, and you cannot miss that. Long story short, the woman who doesn't drive fell in love with a car she will never drive, and that's fine. I do hope one day to be able to touch a vehicle like that, but it was just something magnanimous to be in its presence. So yeah, it made me realize, like I said, love at first sight is really being able to see a physical manifestation of what God gave someone to love, and to have access to that. And there's just this immense gratitude that comes over, and you can understand it in any language. It's nothing. I don't even like cars, you guys. I can't tell you the last time I drove one. It's been at least a solid decade. It's not like really operate a vehicle. I don't watch the races, none of that stuff, but there was just I knew that that car was something. And as I was going back over like my camera roll, yeah, I had taken a picture here and a picture there, but I took a lot of pictures of this thing. And I haven't really been doing that lately, because the more present that I get, the less I'm like, oh, let me snap that, because I have such a vivid memory. And as you guys can tell, I'm a pretty decent storyteller. So for the most part, most people would rather hear me talk about my experiences than tell them what they are, show them. So I don't really take that many pictures, but I had at least 6 pictures of that in a little video. It's the only video that I took was of this car. That's what I'm telling you. There's something about it that you just, this is it. This is craftsmanship. This is purpose. This is love lived out loud. Thank you for sharing. It beams gratitude. When I tell you that thing had aura, it did. So I'm thankful today that I was able to do that. And I'm even more thankful that I'm able to bring this kind of a conversation to you guys. You know, there are things out there. And the experience of this was, you know, I can't help but say that it was God doing that. Like he wanted me to do that, because I wasn't going to go to work at all this week, obviously, until they called me yesterday and were like, hey, we have these same 2 shifts, you know, available. I have another case tomorrow with a different kid, and God told me a special meeting about that. And that'll pretty much be it. I expect a drastically different week for me to have next week. With that being said, you guys, go out there and find something you love. It's great. Have a blessed day, friends.